I'm sure there was a lot of misunderstandings today. A lot. And the misunderstanding is the Christian community. And let me just say this. I am a Christian. I'm a Hebrew Christian, but I'm a Christian. Let me say this. I heard it said today that because the Messiah resurrected on a Sunday, this is today would be the new Sabbath. Again, I heard it stated that because the Messiah resurrected on the first day of the week, similar to today, that is the basis of the Christians attending on the first day of the week. Sometimes you got to hear this stuff with your own ears and see it with your own sight in order for you to actually believe what has been placed on the table. So there is the apologetic Christian community. They don't hold to the basis of attending on Sunday, predicated upon there being a resurrection on today. Now, they got a little smarter because they know that Jesus resurrecting on a Sunday can biblically be challenged and can be proven that it did not resurrect on a Sunday. So therefore, they have stepped in to save everybody, meaning that to redeem them by saying, no, that's not the reason why we have selected the first day of the week as the new Sabbath. The apologetic community says we are at liberty, and that's the day that we pick. Come on, people. Come on. We have to get better in our statements, our comments. We have to get better. Good Friday. Good Friday. It's as they call it, Good Friday. They call it Good Friday because there's the assumption, I say, that Jesus was killed on a Friday. And the basis of that conclusion is that they say that because in the scriptures it says, for that day was the preparation before the Sabbath. So when they look at the events of his crucifixion, that day was a preparation day before the Sabbath. So one, without knowing that there are more than one Sabbath, or there are additional Sabbaths along with the weekly Sabbath, because they don't know that, the assumption is that there's only one Sabbath, and that's the Sabbath that is every week, every 7 days. So therefore, one could make the mistake, if they did not know about other Sabbaths, to conclude that when it says, and that day was a preparation day, and the Sabbath drew on, one could conceivably come to the conclusion that that was on a Friday. Except there are a bunch of Sabbaths, which are also called holy convocations, listed in the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. So you got the weekly Sabbath, and then it picks it up and says, these are the other feasts which you got to proclaim in their seasons. They say seasons because they happen in specific seasons during the year. They're Sabbaths. They have fixed dates, and they are in addition to the weekly Sabbath. So that's how come one could understand how the error is made in Christendom, because they don't know about all the Sabbaths. It's amazing, it really is, that people feel this is the basis of them attending on the first day of the week. And I, quite frankly, understanding that the resurrection and when it took place, I like when people hang their hat on that nail that we go the first day of the week because Jesus resurrected the first day of the week. If that's the premises for attending service on the first day of the week opposed to the seventh day of the week, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem with counting. You're going to have a problem proving that Jesus resurrected on the Sunday. The issue is that it's stated so many times across the pulpit, practically by every Christian pastor. They say that Jesus resurrected, and I love when they do it. They get to the hoop and the holler. They may put their hand behind the ear, and they say, early, one Sunday morning. And it's stated so much that after a while, people began to believe the statement, not what they read, but the statement. Because you won't read that. You will hear the statement, but you will never read that. In fact, you will read the opposite. When Mary and the other Mary and Salome got to the grave, he was already gone. It's ironic that verse 6 of the last chapter of Matthew, being the 28th chapter, and the last chapter of Mark, and the last chapter of Luke, they all in verse 6, and John, the 20th chapter, they all say that he is not here. He is risen. In fact, the angel said, come look where he was laying. And one writer, he reports that the angel said, remember how he said when he was yet with you, that the Son of Man must be put into the hands of sinful men, be killed, and would resurrect the third day. Jesus said it multiple times. The Apostle Paul wrote it. Peter said it. Luke said it in the book of Acts. It's written all over. After 3 days, he would resurrect. In fact, Jesus said as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth. So why the confusion? Why the confusion? And some people may say, why are we dealing with the confusion? Well, brothers and sisters, I'm not the one that says that my Sabbath is on the first day of the week, because that's the day that Jesus resurrected on. You follow me what I'm saying? We're not reporting that. We're still holding to the fact that the seventh day is the Sabbath. So we don't need to create or find a reason to deal with the first day of the week. I don't need to do that. I don't need to hang my hat on that nail, because that nail is under false pretense. Jesus, why? Because Jesus did not resurrect on a Sunday morning. Did not resurrect. In the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, verse 9, and so on, it talks about when you shall reap the harvest, bring a sheaf of the first fruits. A sheaf is a measurement. Bring a measurement of your first fruits. That's what he wanted them to do. Bring a sheaf of the first fruits, and you shall wave it before the priest. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest wave it. It was interesting. What does that mean? In that time, when they would get their green ears, their barley, all of that stuff, they would get it, they would reap it, but they wouldn't eat it until the self-same day that they knew that on the morrow after the Sabbath, when they brought in the sheaf of their first fruits. The sheaf is nothing but a measurement. But they would bring that in to be weighed, to be accepted. And that always took place on the morrow after the Sabbath. So, when that harvest comes up, you're supposed to wait until the weekly Sabbath, give it to the priest on the very next day, and let them wave it. Then it's going to be accepted for you. That's how it works. The sheaf of the first fruits. That's how it works. The waving of that offering is so important, brothers and sisters, because Jesus is the first fruits, and he had to be waved. Had to be waved. And he can't be waved on the morrow after the Sabbath, on the first day of the week, when Mary came to the sepulchre and she already saw the stone rolled away. He wouldn't have been able to be waved unless it's something that was already accepted. Already accepted. So he can't be waved until that time. And that's according to the law. You got to wait till the morrow after the Sabbath, then the priest shall wave it. So always got to be the morrow after the Sabbath. So this has been great just to chime in with you all. I wanted to leave that with you and just have a little car talk, and we'll talk soon.